All right, let's dive into the future, specifically the future of work. Our sources today, all about the global jobs and skills landscape. Between now 2025 and 2030 and beyond, really. We're going deep with the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025. It's packed with, well, trends and insights you'll want to know.
Definitely a complex picture. We're talking, tech advancements, economic shifts, demographics. It all reshapes what work will look like, right? So let's unpack it.
Okay, so the report lays out some major forces shaping the future of jobs. First up, broadening digital access. Seems straightforward, more people online, bigger impact from new tech, and that impact happens quicker.
Precisely. And that feeds right into, well, the next big one, AI and automation. This is massive.
Right.
Impacts everything from what jobs even exist to the skills we need to, not just survive, but thrive. We'll be digging into the rise of generative AI specifically a bit later.
Got it. Then there's the green transition. Climate change, it's a huge factor, drives demand for new green jobs, but also, requires new skills in the jobs we already have.
Well,
A double whammy, as the report puts it.
and on the global scale, can't forget geoeconomic, fragmentation, trade wars, tensions, alliances shifting. These all impact directly where work happens, which industries boom.
Like this giant interconnected web of factors. And of course, we've got to factor in demographics, aging populations in some places, ton of young people in others both create, well, unique challenges, but also opportunities.
Absolutely. Now, you're probably wondering, what does this mean for, actual jobs? The good news is the report projects overall net job growth, but, and this is important, it's not even across the board.
Some jobs are hot, others not so much.
Exactly. Fastest growing, very concentrated in tech, AI and machine learning specialists, fintech engineers, software developers, cybersecurity pros, high demand as businesses digitize, automate.
Makes sense. But it's not all tech, right? The green transition is also creating a whole new job market.
You got it. Renewable energy engineers, environmental engineers, then specialists in electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, all seeing massive growth, essential for, well, transitioning to a more sustainable economy.
So not just doom and gloom, exciting stuff emerging too.
Definitely. And here's a curveball maybe. Delivery drivers and construction workers, also booming. Demographics and economics at play there.
I'm curious about that. Seems almost, I don't know, counterintuitive, right? World moving towards automation, but these jobs are booming.
While demand for delivery keeps going up as more people shop online, and construction booming in lots of parts of the world due to, well, population growth and urbanization. It's a reminder that even in a tech-driven world, some jobs, the ones that need physical presence, human skills, those stay in demand.
That's a great point. What about the jobs on the decline? Report mentioned automation hitting some areas pretty hard.
Yeah, clerical, secretarial roles facing big decline. Think bank tellers, data entry clerks, postal service clerks.
Ouch, right. Tough for folks in those fields. Any bright spots, though, for those whose jobs are at risk?
One positive is the growth of, well, what they call the care economy. Nursing, social work, personal care, these are on the rise, fueled by aging populations.
Interesting. So tech might be replacing jobs in some areas, but human connection, care, that's more valuable than ever in others.
Precisely. Shows that job displacement from automation, it's not just about, machine replaces human. It's about how humans and tech can actually work together in new ways.
Speaking of working together, the report, it doesn't just focus on emerging jobs. It's about skills, too, right, for both new and existing roles. They estimate 40%, a whopping 40% of our current skills will need to change by 2030.
Yeah, and only about 48 out of every 100 workers are going to get the training they'll need. That's a lot to learn.
So what should we be focusing on? Top in-demand skills, according to the report.
Analytical thinking is still king, but it's not enough on its own anymore. Needs to be paired with, well, resilience, flexibility, agility. Navigating a world in constant flux, you got to be able to adapt.
Makes sense in a world that's always changing, like you said.
Exactly. And here's another one that might surprise you. Leadership and social influence, more important than ever.
Really? I would have thought, those skills become less important as tech takes over. Why more crucial?
Because tech can't do everything. We still need humans to lead, to make decisions, to navigate all the messy social stuff, especially when it involves, well, other humans.
Those soft skills, the human skills, more valuable in a tech-driven world.
You got it. And creative thinking, highly valued too. Automation's great for routine tasks, but thinking outside the box, coming up with innovative solutions, that's a huge asset. And of course, tech skills. AI, Big data, essential across many fields. That one's a given.
Right. What about the skills that are, I don't know, fading in importance? What should we be letting go of?
Interestingly, the report says physical abilities are declining in importance. First time that's happened. Clear sign automation's changing the nature of work. Physical strength, dexterity, less crucial in many roles now.
Seems like there's a lot to unpack when it comes to skills. Now, generative AI specifically, the report really dives in there and the findings are nuanced. What's the takeaway?
It's fascinating, really. Generative AI, it excels at tasks based on like knowledge, digital information, summarizing tons of data, drafting text, translations, incredibly powerful.
They're not a replacement for everything, right?
Right. It still struggles with anything needing physical execution, nuanced judgment, or real, genuine human interaction.
So for now, it's more like a tool to help us not replace us entirely.
That's the key takeaway. More likely to augment human work, not eliminate it, at least for the foreseeable future.
That means, I guess, we should be developing skills that complement AI, not compete with it.
Exactly. The report talks about prompt engineering, learning to, I guess you could say, talk to AI effectively, getting it to do what you need. So yeah, those skills, plus not neglecting the things that make us uniquely human.
Like empathy, critical thinking, nuanced communication, those become even more important then in a world of AI.
Precisely. It's a reminder that in a world with more and more automation, the things that make us human, those become even more valuable.
Now, on the less philosophical, more practical side, the report talked about wages. What did they find?
Well, over half of employers anticipate increasing wages between now and 2030.
That's good news. What's driving that?
Seems like it's about aligning pay with, well, productivity and performance. And also, in a competitive market, you got to attract and retain talent. Competitive salaries are part of that.
So rewarding good work and staying competitive. Two sides of the same coin almost. But are those wage increases keeping up with inflation and everything? The cost of living.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The report suggests it's not all, roses and sunshine. Employers are always looking to cut costs. So while many predict wage increases, no guarantee those increases will outpace inflation.
A balancing act then. For businesses, for all of us, really.
Absolutely. And speaking of balancing acts, let's talk about the challenges of, well, reskilling, upskilling for both workers and businesses. The report dug into some of the barriers there.
Okay. What kind of barriers are we talking about? What's holding us back?
Well, one big one is organizational culture and resistance to change. A lot of companies, they struggle to, adapt their processes, their structures to keep up with this rapidly evolving job market. Might not have the right training programs or hesitate to invest in, developing their employees' skills.
So it's not just about individual workers being willing to learn, right? It's about companies creating a culture that, I don't know, encourages lifelong learning.
Exactly. Another barrier, regulatory concerns. Outdated regulations can actually hinder the adoption of new technologies, new types of training programs, regulations designed for traditional classroom-based training. Those might not work for online learning or the new, more cutting-edge stuff.
So it sounds like we need, I don't know, a team effort, right? Governments, businesses, educational institutions all working together to address these barriers and, well, make sure everyone has access to the training they need to keep up. What about the funding side of things? What did the report say about training programs and how they're funded?
Most employers, plan to fund their own training. But the second most common way is actually free training. After that, you've got government funding and public-private partnerships. The least common way, it seems, is co-funding across different industries.
So there's definitely room for governments to step up, right? Provide more support for reskilling and upskilling. Investing in the workforce is, well, investing in the future.
You got it. And when employers do invest in training, they usually have certain outcomes in mind. Enhanced productivity is the top one. Then you've got improved competitiveness and better talent retention.
It's like a win-win, right? Employees get new skills, companies keep their top people, and the result is, well, a stronger workforce.
Absolutely. And that brings us to AI in the workplace, a big focus in the report.
Okay, let's talk about that. How are companies planning to, integrate AI into what they do? What are the strategies?
The most common strategy is actually reskilling and upskilling existing employees, teaching them to work effectively with AI. Close second is hiring new folks with those AI-specific skills. Could be to design the AI tools themselves or to integrate those tools into the company's existing systems.
Well, it's not about replacing humans. It's about figuring out how humans and AI can work together, right? Like a team.
Exactly. And almost half of organizations are planning to um, basically reorient their business models to target the new opportunities AI is creating. Similar number plan to transition people from declining roles to other potentially AI adjacent roles within the company.
Encouraging. Sounds like companies are really thinking proactively about how to manage this transition. But not all companies are taking such a, I guess, positive approach, are they? The report also talked about potential job losses as AI gets more advanced.
That's true. While lots are focused on retraining, redeploying employees, a significant chunk, about 41%, they actually expect to downsize their workforce.
So it's a double-edged sword, right? AI creates opportunities, but also presents real challenges. It's about making sure the benefits are, shared widely,
Yeah,
that workers who lose their jobs because of AI get the support they need to transition.
I agree. It's about being mindful of those who might get left behind.
Exactly. Now, what about the obstacles companies face when it comes to AI adoption? The report mentioned some key barriers there.
Right. Well, a big one is the lack of skills to really support AI adoption. And it's not just about finding coders, people to build AI systems. It's about having managers and leaders who, actually understand how to integrate AI effectively.
So it's a broader skills gap, right? Not just a technical one. It's about understanding AI from the top down.
Precisely. Lack of vision among managers, leaders, that's another huge obstacle. If they don't get how AI can benefit their business, why would they invest in it?
Makes sense. Got to see that ROI, the return on investment.
Exactly. And then there are the practical considerations, the cost of AI products and services, the lack of customization, complex regulations around AI and data, all real challenges.
So we need more affordable, accessible AI solutions
hmm
and clear regulations that, encourage innovation while also addressing those ethical concerns.
I agree. Now let's switch gears a bit. Talent availability. How are companies attracting, keeping top talent in this crazy job market? The report highlighted some trends there.
That's a hot topic for sure. What's working? What are companies doing?
Well, what's interesting is supporting employee health and well-being has emerged as a top priority. Big shift from previous years, probably because, now companies realize that well-being is essential for everyone to succeed.
Yeah, creating a workplace where people feel valued, supported.
Exactly. And of course, providing effective reskilling, upskilling opportunities, investing in employee development, that's how you attract and keep good people.
Building your own talent pipeline from within.
Smart move. And improving talent progression, promotion processes. Employees want to see a path for growth. And can't forget higher wages. Competitive market means competitive salaries.
So it's a combination then. Growth opportunities, competitive pay.
That's right. But money isn't everything. Tapping into diverse talent pools, that's crucial too. Companies are seeing that diversity brings new ideas, new perspectives, leads to innovation and growth.
A workplace that reflects the world we live in. Beneficial in so many ways.
Exactly. And remote hybrid work opportunities. Flexibility is key.
The pandemic, it really sped that trend up, didn't it? And it's not going away.
It really did. Now, public policies. What role do they play in increasing talent availability? What can governments do to help businesses find the skilled workers they need?
Big question. What does the report suggest?
Diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI policies are key. Promoting equal opportunities for everyone, levels the playing field.
So removing barriers, making sure everyone has a shot, regardless of their background.
That's the idea. Improving public education systems, that's crucial too. Invest in education, make sure future workforces have the skills businesses need.
Education, the foundation for a strong economy, for sure. What else?
Wage setting flexibility. This can help businesses adjust wages, reflect market conditions, attract the talent they need. But of course, it has to be balanced with, protecting workers' rights.
Finding that sweet spot, right.
Yeah.
Fair wages, competitive businesses.
Exactly. Changes to immigration laws, that's another potential solution, especially in countries with aging populations. Make it easier for skilled workers to immigrate, helps fill those gaps.
Can be controversial, for sure, but it's a conversation we need to have, right? Especially in a globalized economy.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Report mentioned changes to, pension schemes,
Yeah.
extending retirement ages, keeping experienced people in the workforce longer.
Okay, so lots of different levers governments can pull. You mentioned earlier how the report found this increased emphasis on diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI. What can you tell us about that?
The connection between DEI and increased talent availability is strong. Having a diverse workforce, inclusive policies that helps companies attract the best people.
So what are companies actually doing to promote DEI? What does that look like?
Most common, DEI training for managers and staff. Setting DEI goals. Targeted recruiting and retention initiatives for, well, underrepresented groups.
Multi-pronged approach. Got to address the culture and the structure.
That's right. And those efforts, they often target specific demographics.
Which groups are getting the most attention?
Globally, women are the top focus. Then people with disabilities, and then Gen Z, the younger generation.
All groups that have faced barriers in the past. Good to see that changing.
It is. Older workers, LGBTQI plus individuals, those from disadvantaged religious, ethnic, or racial backgrounds, they're getting attention too, but not as much as those first three groups.
Still work to be done, for sure. Now, we talked about those expected wage increases. What's really driving those decisions? Why are companies planning to pay more?
The top two reasons: aligning wages with productivity, worker performance, and, well, needing to stay competitive. Gotta offer competitive salaries.
Makes sense. So, rewarding good work, staying competitive, two birds, one stone.
That's it. And reducing wage inequalities, supporting workers' purchasing power, those are factors too, but not as prominent as the first two.
Seems like more and more companies are recognizing that, fair wages are good for everyone, good for the economy as a whole. But you also mentioned companies are looking at cost reduction strategies.
Right. So wage increases on the one hand, but belt tightening on the other.
Another balancing act.
It is. Now, skills assessment, that's another interesting part of the report.
Okay, let's talk about that. How are companies evaluating skills?
Yeah.
Especially with everything changing so fast. What are they actually doing?
Work experience is still number one. 81% of businesses say they'll keep relying on that.
Experience is king, it seems.
Often, yeah. But skills assessments are becoming more common. 48% of employers say they're going to use those. That's, actually testing candidates' skills, not just relying on what's on their resume.
More objective way to evaluate skills, for sure.
It is. And while university degrees are still important, 43% say those are still a requirement. There's this growing understanding that, a piece of paper doesn't always reflect what someone can do.
So looking beyond the credentials. Seeing what a candidate can actually do.
Exactly. And psychometric profiling, it's gaining traction too. 34% of businesses say they'll use that to evaluate things like personality traits, cognitive abilities, cultural fit.
You're getting a fuller picture of the candidate then.
Precisely. Apprenticeships, short courses, online certificates, those are being used too, but not as much as those other methods.
Seems like companies are using a whole toolkit to assess skills these days.
They are. Now, remember how we talked about the report emphasizing lifelong learning? They also looked at, how much training employees are actually completing. Talk is one thing, but are people actually walking the walk?
Right. Actions speak louder than words. So what did they find? Are people actually upskilling, reskilling?
Globally, 50% of workers have completed some form of training, reskilling, upskilling, up from 41% in the 2023 report. So it seems like the message is, getting through.
That's good to hear. People taking ownership, preparing for the future. But the report mentions some variation across industries, right?
Right. Some are ahead of the game, others not so much.
So who's leading the pack? Which industries are taking training seriously?
The biggest increase has been in insurance and pensions management, then supply chain and transportation, and then information and technology services.
All industries heavily impacted by tech, right? Makes sense.
It does. On the other hand, agriculture, forestry, fishing, also real estate, those have actually seen a decline in training completion.
Interesting. Some industries embracing change, others resisting. I wonder what factors are, contributing to that difference.
It's complex, but there does seem to be a correlation, right, between a willingness to embrace lifelong learning and, well, how healthy and dynamic an industry is.
Those who invest in their people, they thrive. Looking ahead to 2030, how many workers are estimated to need training?
59 out of every 100 workers will need some form of training.
Wow, that's a lot. What does that mean for them? What happens to those workers?
Well, employers anticipate that 29 of those 59 will get upskilled within their current role. Another 19 will be upskilled and then, move to a different role within their company.
So almost half will be accommodated within their existing company, What about the rest?
The other 11, it seems, are unlikely to get the training they need. Their employment prospects are a bit more uncertain.
We need to find ways to, well, make sure everyone has access to training, keeps them relevant. And the report said this need for training, it varies by region too, right?
That's right. North America, companies there estimate 67% of their workforce will need training by 2030. But Central Asia, the Middle East, North Africa, they project less than 50% will need it.
Big difference. What explains that?
Probably a combination of things. Pace of tech advancement, structure of the economy, government policies around education and training needs all play a role.
Different regions, different challenges, different opportunities. Makes sense. Yeah. The report also looked at specific industries, right? How they're approaching their training needs. What were some of the, I don't know, the highlights there?
Yeah, they found that telecommunications and information and technology services, they've already seen a lot of upskilling, reskilling, but they still expect big training needs, projecting 63% and 62% of their workforces, respectively, will need more training.
So even in industries that are, ahead of the curve, they still get it. Continuous learning is essential.
Absolutely. And on the flip side, the sectors with those declining trends in training, the ones we mentioned before, those are among the ones with the lowest projected training needs.
A real opportunity for those industries to step up their game. Now, let's go global. Different regions, different countries. The report offers some interesting insights there. Let's start with Asia. Key trends there.
East Asia and the Pacific, the top 3 trends shaping the job market. Digitalization, climate mitigation, and, well, the rising cost of living.
Those trends are global,
Yeah.
for sure. But how did they play out, specifically in East Asia?
Well, countries like Vietnam, they're facing this unique set of challenges, trying to adapt to those global trends while also dealing with internal issues like skills gaps and infrastructure problems.
Double whammy. External pressure and internal constraints.
Exactly. That's why employers there in Vietnam, they're calling for more public funding for reskilling, upskilling, and also more flexible labor market policies.
They need everything to move faster. Individuals and the system itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, South Asia. The report highlighted India, massive workforce, growing rapidly.
Right. Huge population, young workforce. It could be a global talent powerhouse.
Yeah,
But they face challenges too, right?
definitely. Skills gaps, unemployment, big issues they're grappling with.
Like they've got all the pieces, but haven't quite figured out how to put them together.
Great analogy. The report really emphasizes India needs to invest heavily in education, skills development, and create a more supportive policy environment, for businesses to thrive, create jobs.
If they can overcome those hurdles, the potential is, well, enormous.
Absolutely. Now let's jump continents. Africa.
Yeah.
What's shaping the future of work there?
Africa is so vast, so diverse. Any common threads when it comes to the future of work?
Broadening digital access, that's a major driving force across the board. More and more people getting online opens up opportunities for education, entrepreneurship, remote work.
That's exciting. A whole new world opening up for so many people.
It is. But we can't ignore the existing challenges. Poverty, inequality, unemployment, those are still huge hurdles.
So progress, but also struggle.
Exactly. And that's why the report stresses investment. Infrastructure, education, skills development, those are critical for Africa. Make sure everyone benefits from the digital revolution, that those benefits are shared equitably.
Creating a more inclusive future.
Absolutely. Now over to Europe. They've got their own set of challenges.
Right. Aging population, slower economic growth compared to other regions.
Yeah.
How does that impact the future of work?
Companies in Europe are really focused on automation to boost productivity, address those labor shortages.
So turning to technology to solve, well, demographic and economic problems.
They are, but it's not a perfect solution. Concerns about job displacement, those are there too.
That double-edged sword again.
It is. The report highlights the need for Europe to invest in reskilling, upskilling programs, help workers adapt, make sure the benefits of automation are, shared widely.
So everyone has a chance to thrive, even in a more automated future.
Absolutely. Now, North America, often seen as a leader in, well, tech innovation. How's that playing out in the context of the future of work?
What's happening in North America? Are they leading the charge?
They're at the forefront of AI adoption, that's for sure. Investing heavily in AI, other advanced tech, driving efficiency, innovation.
Really embracing AI then.
They are, but just like in Europe, they're wary of the potential downsides, ethical implications, potential job losses.
That same theme again and again. balancing the benefits with the risks.
Exactly. The report stresses North American companies need to be, thoughtful, responsible, make sure the benefits of AI are shared widely, don't want to make existing inequalities worse.
It's about creating a future of work that's um, technologically advanced, but also socially responsible.
Absolutely. Now let's zoom in on specific industries, see how they're approaching this. The report's got some really fascinating insights.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with manufacturing. Hit hard by automation in recent years. How are they adapting?
Well, they're still investing in automation, but they're realizing human skills are important too.
Not just robots replacing humans, then. It's about figuring out how they can work together.
Exactly. They need workers with both technical skills and soft skills. Problem solving, communication, teamwork, that kind of thing.
A new kind of manufacturing worker, then. High tech and high touch.
Precisely. Now, healthcare. Facing a lot of challenges, aging population, rising costs. How are they adapting?
It's an industry ripe for disruption. What are they doing with technology to improve care and efficiency?
They're using AI more and more. Diagnosing diseases, developing new treatments, personalizing care.
So AI is a big part of healthcare innovation. But what about the people? How does this affect them?
There are concerns. AI could dehumanize healthcare, ethical dilemmas. It's a tricky balance, finding that sweet spot between tech and the human touch.
I agree. Healthcare is about caring for people. Technology should help with that, not, replace it.
Absolutely. Now, retail, e-commerce has already, completely transformed the industry. And now AI is changing things even more.
It's an industry that's, constantly evolving. How are they keeping up?
They're still investing in e-commerce, all those digital technologies, but they're realizing the in-store experience is important too.
So it's about creating a seamless experience, online and offline.
Exactly. They need workers with both digital skills and customer service skills.
Another new breed of worker, the digital salesperson.
Precisely. Now, financial services. This is an industry that's, heavily regulated, often seen as slow to adopt new tech. So how are
Okay.
they adapting?
An industry ripe for disruption. How are they using technology to improve efficiency, customer service, all that?
Well, they're using AI more and more, automating tasks, detecting fraud, providing personalized financial advice.
So AI is playing a big role in financial services too. But are there concerns about the risks?
Yes, definitely. There are concerns about the potential for AI to, yes, definitely. There are concerns about the potential for AI to create new risks, exacerbate existing inequalities. It's a balancing act, really, harnessing the power of AI, but doing it responsibly.
Makes sense. Innovation and risk management, two sides of the same coin, especially in finance.
Exactly. The report really stresses careful consideration. Integrating AI into financial operations, it has to benefit customers, society as a whole.
Finance, it's vital to our economy, got to be managed responsibly. Speaking of vital roles, the report also looks at education, a sector that's, fundamental to the future of work, right?
Yeah.
How are they adapting? How are they preparing the workforce of tomorrow?
Education's under a lot of pressure to keep up, but they're doing it. They're incorporating tech more and more, offering more personalized learning too.
So it's not just lectures and textbooks anymore.
Not at all. It's about teaching those 21st century skills, critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, all that. They're preparing students for jobs that don't even exist yet.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Shaping the future workforce.
Exactly. The report emphasizes that education has to be agile, innovative, and they need to partner with businesses, make sure what they're teaching actually aligns with, the needs of the job market, both now and in the future.
A collaborative effort then. Businesses, educators, governments all got to work together. Now the energy sector, going through a massive transformation. How are energy companies adapting to this low-carbon economy?
Challenges and opportunities, for sure. They're navigating this transition by investing in renewable energy, developing tech to reduce their carbon footprint.
Embracing the green transition. But what about the workers? The people in the traditional energy sector?
Definitely concerns about job losses in the fossil fuel industry as demand goes down, but the transition also creates new jobs.
That double-edged sword, again.
It is. The report really stresses the importance of retraining programs for workers who, might lose their jobs because of this shift. It's about making sure everyone benefits from the green transition.
Creating a more equitable, sustainable future for everyone.
Absolutely. Now, another industry that's, facing massive disruption, transportation.
Right. Transportation, autonomous vehicles, all that. How are they keeping up with all these changes?
They're dealing with a lot of the same stuff we've been talking about. Climate change, urbanization, and all the disruption from technology. So they're adapting, right? Investing in autonomous vehicles, exploring new business models, ride sharing, delivery services.
Reimagining how we get around, basically.
Exactly. And that means they need a new kind of workforce,
Yeah.
people who can operate and maintain all these new technologies.
A new era for transportation workers, then.
It is. We're talking about a shift from, the traditional roles to things like electric vehicle mechanics, autonomous vehicle engineers, ride-sharing platform managers, that kind of thing.
Significant shift. Now, what about governments, the public sector? They play a huge role in all this, setting policies, regulations that impacts everyone. How are they adapting?
It's a sector that's, well, often seen as slow to change, right? Bureaucratic. But they are taking steps to, modernize, using digital technologies more and more, trying to improve efficiency, transparency, and exploring new ways to deliver those public services.
Embracing digital transformation. But are there concerns, too?
Definitely. Concerns about digital tech making existing inequalities worse, creating new ethical dilemmas.
So finding that balance, innovation, and social responsibility, that's crucial for the public sector, too.
Absolutely. The report highlights the need for governments to really think carefully about how they're using digital tech, make sure everyone benefits from these changes.
It's about creating that inclusive digital future we keep talking about.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears a little. The nonprofit sector. They do vital work addressing those social and environmental challenges we face. How are they adapting to the future of work?
Nonprofits, they don't always have a lot of resources. How are they innovating, making a difference in this new world?
Technology is a huge help for them, reaching new audiences, streamlining operations, measuring their impact.
So tech is helping nonprofits do more good.
It is. But, we have to acknowledge the potential downsides here, too. Digital divide. Technology can make existing inequalities worse.
Making sure everyone has access to technology, the opportunities it creates, that's crucial.
It is. Technology should be a tool for equality, not, another way to divide us.
Stepping back for a minute, it's clear work is changing.
Right.
Profound transformation, almost like, I don't know, another industrial revolution.
That's a great analogy. And just like those past revolutions, this one brings both amazing opportunities and serious challenges.
So how do we navigate this? What are the big takeaways for individuals, businesses, policymakers?
For individuals, the message is clear. Embrace lifelong learning. It's not enough to just, get a degree and coast. The job market is always changing. You got to keep learning new skills to stay relevant.
It's like we're all students now, forever.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to, try new things, step outside that comfort zone. The future of work is going to be fluid, dynamic. You got to be adaptable.
Lifelong learner and a career chameleon,
And
always adapting.
Exactly. Now, businesses, they need to invest in their people, provide those training and development opportunities. That's how you increase productivity, engagement, retention.
Happy employees, happy customers, happy bottom line.
Absolutely. And they can't overlook DEI. Diversity brings new ideas, new perspectives, fuels innovation, growth.
It's the right thing to do, and it makes good business sense.
It does. Now, policymakers, they need to create a policy environment that supports lifelong learning, innovation, invest in education, skills development, provide incentives for businesses to upskill their workforces, and create regulations that encourage experimentation, risk-taking, all that.
A system that empowers everyone. Businesses, workers, the whole ecosystem.
Precisely. And policymakers also need to think about social safety nets. Automation's going to displace some jobs, so we need to make sure those workers have support, help them transition.
A just transition, making sure no one gets left behind.
Absolutely. This Future of Jobs Report 2025, it gives us some really valuable data, insights, helps us navigate this complex, ever-changing world of work.
A roadmap for the future, almost. And even though the future is, well, always uncertain, understanding the trends, preparing ourselves, that's how we create a future that's both, prosperous and fulfilling.
Well said. The report also has some specific recommendations for businesses, governments, individuals, actionable steps we can take.
Okay, let's get into that. What can we do today to prepare for tomorrow?
For businesses, the report, it recommends a few key things. First, they need to focus on skills, not just credentials, when they're hiring, looking for talent. Move away from, those traditional practices that just look at degrees and focus on what a candidate can do, their actual skills, abilities.
So recognizing that talent comes in all forms. It's about what you can do, not where you went to school.
Exactly. Second, businesses need to create a culture of lifelong learning. Make it the norm. Encourage employees to constantly learn, grow, provide training, mentorship, career development resources, all that.
A culture where learning isn't just, encouraged, it's expected.
Precisely. Third area of focus: use technology to enhance human capabilities, not to replace them. Explore how AI automation can be used to, streamline those routine tasks, free up employees for higher level work, create new opportunities for innovation.
Technology is a tool,
Yeah.
not a job killer. Working with it, not against it.
Exactly. Fourth recommendation: fostering DEI at every level. Create a workplace where everyone feels valued, respected, supported, and has equal opportunities for success.
Good for the soul and good for business.
It is. And finally, businesses, they need to collaborate with governments, educational institutions, nonprofits, everyone really. It's about creating a more inclusive, sustainable future of work. We're all in this together.
Collaboration is key. Now, what about governments? What can they do?
The report suggests governments, they should prioritize investment in education and skills development programs. Programs that are aligned with, what the job market actually needs. Make sure students graduate with those in-demand skills, and that adults have opportunities to upskill and reskill throughout their careers.
Building that talent pipeline for the future.
Exactly. Second, governments need to create policies that, well, encourage businesses to invest in lifelong learning too. Things like tax breaks, incentives for companies that provide training and development opportunities, streamlining those regulations that might be, holding back innovation in education and training.
Make it a win-win for everyone.
Exactly. Third, governments need to invest in social safety nets, those programs that support workers who lose their jobs because of automation, unemployment benefits, job retraining programs, income support.
Ensuring that no one gets left behind.
Exactly. Fourth, governments can promote DEI in the workplace, implement policies that, well, prohibit discrimination, create a more level playing field.
Equal opportunities for everyone, regardless of background.
Precisely. And finally, just like with businesses, collaboration is crucial for governments too. They need to work with everyone, businesses, educators, nonprofits, to create that more inclusive, sustainable future of work.
It's a shared responsibility. Now, what about us? What can individuals do to, prepare for all this?
For individuals, the report, it recommends a few things. First, have a growth mindset. Be open to constantly learning. The job market's always changing, so being adaptable, open to learning new skills, that's essential.
See, learning is an opportunity, not a chore.
Exactly. Second, focus on those transferable skills.
Right.
Critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration. Those are essential for any job, no matter what.
Building a versatile skill set helps you adapt, be resilient.
Precisely. Third, networking. Build relationships in your field, but also outside of it. Helps you stay informed, learn about new things, get your foot in the door.
Building your social capital, right?
Yeah.
Leveraging those relationships.
Exactly. Fourth recommendation, be proactive. Don't just wait for opportunities to fall in your lap. Go out and find them. Set goals. Make a plan. Don't be afraid to take risks.
Be your own career CEO.
Exactly. And finally, be an advocate for yourself and for a more just and equitable future of work. Speak up, support policies that promote lifelong learning, innovation, help create workplaces where everyone can thrive.
Use your voice, your actions to make a difference. Now, let's get specific. What are some of the jobs, the skills that are going to be in high demand in the future?
Okay, let's get granular. The hot jobs, the skills you'll need to get them.
That's what everyone wants to know. Tell us more.
According to the report, the fastest growing jobs in the next 5 years, they're going to be in technology, healthcare, green energy.
Tech and essential human services. Interesting mix. Any specific examples?
In tech, think AI and machine learning specialists, data scientists, cybersecurity analysts, software developers, cloud computing engineers, all that. They all need a solid STEM foundation, plus, the ability to think critically, solve problems, adapt to new tech.
So a high-tech, high-demand field. What about healthcare?
Healthcare, they're looking for nurse practitioners, physician assistants, medical assistants, home health aides, physical therapists, roles like that. Need those technical skills, plus compassion, good people skills.
Tech and human connection.
Right.
What about green energy? What are some of the in-demand jobs there?
Solar panel installers, wind turbine technicians, energy auditors, environmental engineers, sustainability consultants, that kind of thing. You need technical skills plus, a real understanding of the environment, a passion for sustainability.
Building a better future.
Literally.
Now, what about skills that are, in demand across all industries? Those transferable skills everyone needs.
The report identifies a bunch of those essential skills for everyone, no matter what you do.
What are some of those?
Analytical thinking, being able to gather information, analyze it, interpret it, use it to solve problems, make decisions. It's all about data these days.
Making sense of the information overload.
Exactly. Creativity, too. Coming up with new ideas, new solutions, crucial for innovation, problem solving.
Thinking outside the box.
Exactly. Communication, both verbal and written. Conveying information clearly, effectively. Building relationships, collaborating, influencing decisions.
Making your voice heard. Persuading others.
That's it. Collaboration, too. Working with others effectively to achieve a goal. Essential for teamwork, problem-solving, innovation.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. Emotional intelligence is also crucial. Understanding your own emotions and those of others helps you build strong relationships, resolve conflicts, lead effectively.
Being self-aware, empathetic, socially savvy. That's important in any field.
It is adaptability. The world's changing fast, so you need to adapt to new circumstances, learn new things.
Be flexible. Roll with the punches.
Exactly. Technology literacy, understanding and using tech effectively. That's a basic requirement these days.
It's everywhere.
It is. And finally, lifelong learning. Constantly learning new skills, new knowledge throughout your career. That's how you stay relevant. Adapt.
Never stop learning.
Exactly. Now, all this technological advancement, it doesn't come without its challenges.
Right. Let's talk about that. The potential downsides. How do we avoid them? Mitigate them?
Job displacement, automation, that's a big one. As AI and other technologies get more sophisticated, they're going to be able to do more and more of the tasks that, well, humans do now, could lead to job losses, especially in those roles that involve routine tasks.
A valid concern.
Yeah.
So how do we prevent that?
Yeah.
How do we make sure everyone benefits?
A few things we can do. Invest in education and skills development programs. Prepare people for the jobs of the future. STEM fields, transferable skills.
Giving people the skills to thrive in a more automated world.
Exactly. Second, create policies that support lifelong learning. Make it easier for people to, change careers. Tax breaks for retraining, portable benefits, career counseling, that kind of thing.
Supporting workers at every stage of their careers.
Exactly. Third, explore new models of work. More adaptable models. Portable benefits, flexible work arrangements, income sharing agreements.
Thinking outside the box when it comes to how we work.
Precisely. Fourth, we need to talk about the ethics of AI, automation. As those technologies get more powerful, we got to make sure they're used in a way that, benefits everyone, not just a few.
Technology should be a force for good.
Exactly. And finally, we have to remember, the future of work isn't set in stone. We have choices. We make decisions. How we develop and use technology, that will determine what the future looks like.
We're not just along for the ride. We're in the driver's seat.
Exactly. This Future of Jobs Report 2025, it gives us a roadmap. It's a call to action for all of us individuals, businesses, policymakers. Work together, create a future of work that's both technologically advanced and socially responsible.
The future is in our hands. Let's make it a good one.
Now, let's dig a little deeper into how technology is affecting specific industries. AI, automation, how are they changing things in healthcare, manufacturing, retail, finance?
Okay, let's explore that. How is tech transforming these key sectors, and what does it mean for the people working in them?
Let's start with healthcare. AI is revolutionizing things there. AI-powered diagnostic tools helping doctors detect diseases earlier, more accurately. AI platforms speeding up drug development. Even AI-powered robots assisting surgeons in the operating room.
AI everywhere. What about the people, though? The doctors, nurses, everyone working in healthcare?
Well, some experts think AI will automate a lot of the tasks they do now, which could mean job losses in some areas, but it'll also create new opportunities in areas like, developing and maintaining those AI systems.
Jobs disappear, new jobs appear. It's a cycle.
It is, and it's important to remember AI isn't supposed to replace healthcare workers. It's supposed to help them, make them better at what they do.
Humans and AI working together.
Exactly. AI can analyze tons of data, help doctors make better diagnoses, but it can't, replace human empathy, that human touch that's so important in patient care.
Finding that balance again.
Exactly. Now, manufacturing. AI and automation are transforming things there too. Robots doing dangerous jobs, repetitive tasks, things that require a lot of precision, more efficient, more productive, but also some jobs are being lost.
The efficiency jobs trade-off.
Right. But it's not just about replacing people with robots. It's also about creating opportunities for people who can, operate and maintain those robots. Robotics engineers, AI programmers, data analysts, those are in-demand roles in manufacturing now.
So it's not just robots taking jobs. It's also about new kinds of jobs, working with robots.
Exactly, and sometimes automation actually creates jobs. By automating certain tasks, companies free up their human workers to do other things. More creative stuff, strategic stuff, customer-facing stuff. That can lead to new jobs in design, marketing, customer service, all that.
It's complex.
It is. Now, retail. E-commerce has already had a huge impact, and AI is changing things even more. AI-powered chatbots for customer service, recommendation engines that, personalize your shopping experience, even robots managing inventory and fulfilling orders.
The future of shopping.
It is. But what about the people working in retail? Some experts say AI is going to automate a lot of the things cashiers, salespeople, stock clerks do now. Could mean job losses. But also new opportunities, again, in things like developing and maintaining AI systems.
Jobs lost, jobs created.
That's right. And AI, it's not meant to replace human retail workers entirely. It's about making them better at what they do.
That theme again. Humans and AI working together.
Exactly. AI can help salespeople give more personalized recommendations, by analyzing what customers bought in the past, what they've been looking at online. But AI can't replace that human touch, the empathy that builds relationships.
Keeping that human connection, it's important.
I agree. Now, finance. AI is transforming this industry too. Algorithms detecting fraud, assessing risk, making investment decisions more efficient, more accurate, but also concerns about bias, the need for, human oversight.
That balance between the power of AI and, well, making sure it's used responsibly.
Exactly. And some experts think AI will automate a lot of what loan officers, financial analysts, traders do now. Job losses in some areas, maybe, but also new opportunities, again, in developing and maintaining those AI systems.
Feels like every industry we talk about is facing similar things, similar challenges, similar opportunities.
It's true. The key is to be smart about it, Make sure the benefits of technology are shared widely, equitably.
Okay, let's zoom out again. Big picture. What are the big trends we need to be aware of when it comes to AI, automation, and the future of work?
One of the biggest is lifelong learning. It's essential. Technology changes so fast, workers have to constantly upskill, reskill, just to keep up.
It's not just about, that one degree anymore. It's about learning throughout your career.
Exactly. And it's not just tech skills either. It's those transferable skills. Critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration. Those are valuable no matter what you do.
Future-proof skills.
You got it.
Okay.
Another big trend, the gig economy. More and more people freelancing, contracting, doing gig work. It's all about those online platforms, flexible work, wanting more control over your work life.
The end of the 9 to 5. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Both. More flexibility, more autonomy, for sure. But it can also mean job insecurity, lower wages, no benefits. Policymakers, they've got to figure out how to make sure gig workers are protected, get the same benefits as, traditional employees.
Making the gig economy more fair, more sustainable.
Exactly. Another big trend. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. The workforce is getting more diverse, and businesses they're realizing they need to create inclusive workplaces, places where everyone feels valued, respected.
The right thing to do, and good for business.
Exactly. Studies show diverse teams are more innovative, more productive.
A win-win, then.
Precisely. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges we might face in the future.
Okay, let's be real. The downsides, how do we, mitigate them, avoid them?
Inequality, that's a big one. AI, automation, they're likely to, benefit high-skilled workers more. Low-skilled workers, they might face job displacement, wage stagnation, could lead to a bigger gap between the rich and the poor.
And that leads to social unrest. So how do we prevent that?
Invest in education and skills development for everyone. Make sure everyone, no matter their background, can adapt to the changing job market. Affordable, high-quality education, training, career counseling.
Creating a more equitable system.
Exactly. Second, policies that promote good jobs. Make sure everyone has a living wage, benefits, protections. Raise the minimum wage. Expand access to health care. Strengthen labor laws.
An economy that works for everyone.
Precisely. Third, invest in those social safety nets. Support for people who lose their jobs because of automation. Unemployment benefits, retraining programs, income support, all that.
Catching those who might fall through the cracks.
Exactly. Fourth, have that conversation about the ethics of AI, automation. We've got to make sure these technologies are used to benefit everyone, not just a select few.
Technology serving humanity, not the other way around.
Exactly. And finally, remember, the future isn't set in stone. We shape it. Through the choices we make, the decisions we make, how we develop and use technology, that will determine what the future looks like.
We're not just passengers. We're the architects of the future.
Well said. This Future of Jobs Report 2025, it's a guide, a roadmap, a call to action. We all need to work together to create a future that's both technologically advanced and socially responsible.
We can do this. We have to do this.
Now, let's shift gears a little. Globalization. It's been a major force in the world for decades. How is it impacting the future of work?
Okay, let's explore that. How is globalization shaping the future of work? What does it mean for workers, businesses?
Globalization has increased trade, investment between countries, more opportunities for businesses to, expand, reach new markets. That's led to economic growth, job creation, but also more competition and some jobs being lost.
The good and the bad.
Exactly. And the impact, it depends on a country's level of development, their economic structure, their government policies, all kinds of things.
So there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. Now, one of the big concerns about globalization is that it can lead to job losses in developed countries as companies move their operations to, developing countries where labor is cheaper.
Outsourcing, is that a valid concern?
It's definitely happened. And it'll probably continue to happen to some extent. But globalization can also create jobs in developed countries. As companies expand overseas, they create new jobs in management, finance, marketing, all that.
So it's not just about jobs being lost. It's also about jobs being created.
Exactly. And globalization can mean lower prices for consumers, too, and more access to goods and services from all over the world.
So there are some perks.
Definitely. Now, one of the challenges with globalization is that it can lead to more inequality within countries, between countries. Companies moving to those developing countries, they sometimes exploit workers. Low wages, poor working conditions.
So globalization needs to be fair for everyone.
Exactly. Governments, international organizations, they need to work together to create a level playing field, protect workers' rights.
Global governance.
Yeah.
Promoting fair trade, sustainable development.
Precisely. Now let's talk about businesses. How can they adapt to globalization? What are some best practices?
Okay, how do you thrive in a globalized world?
Develop a global mindset. That's one of the most important things. Be aware of those cultural differences. Adapt your business practices accordingly.
So it's not just about, selling your stuff overseas. It's about understanding the local market, the local culture.
Exactly. Build relationships with local partners. Helps you navigate all the complexities of doing business in a new country. Gives you access to local knowledge, expertise.
Collaboration is key.
It is. Invest in your employees. Give them the training, the development opportunities they need to succeed in a globalized world. New languages, cross-cultural communication skills, experience working in different countries.
Creating global citizens.
Exactly. And finally, be socially responsible. Operate in a way that benefits your company and the communities where you operate.
Being a good corporate citizen, both locally and globally.
Absolutely.
Fair.
Now let's talk about governments. What can they do to adapt to globalization? What are some policy recommendations?
How can governments create a more equitable, sustainable global system?
Invest in education and skills development. Prepare workers for those jobs of the future. STEM fields, transferable skills.
Giving people the tools they need to compete.
Exactly. Create policies that support businesses that are, investing in innovation, creating jobs. Tax breaks, streamlined regulations, investments in infrastructure, that kind of thing.
Making it easier to do business.
Precisely. Protect workers. Make sure they're not being exploited by companies operating overseas. Enforce labor laws. Promote fair trade. Eliminate child labor, forced labor, all that.
Making sure globalization benefits all workers.
Exactly. And finally, cooperate with other countries. Address those global challenges, Climate change, poverty, inequality. Find solutions that benefit everyone.
Working together to create a better world.
Absolutely. The Future of Jobs Report 2025, it gives us a roadmap, how to navigate the challenges and opportunities of globalization. It's a call to action for all of us.
It's up to us to create a more just, equitable, sustainable world.
Now, let's look at some specific industries, starting with energy. The world's transitioning to a low-carbon economy. How is that affecting the energy sector?
Big changes happening there. What are we talking about specifically?
The energy sector, it's facing a lot of challenges. Climate change, resource depletion, Technological disruption. It's forcing the industry to transform, moving away from fossil fuels towards renewables, solar, wind, hydro, all that.
A lot of different factors driving that change.
There are. Now, what does all this mean for the people working in energy? This transition to a low-carbon economy is going to create job losses and job opportunities. As we use less fossil fuels, there will be job losses in, coal, oil, gas. But the renewable energy sector will grow. More jobs for solar panel installers, wind turbine technicians, energy efficiency experts, all that.
So some jobs go away, but new jobs are created.
Exactly. And it's not just about new jobs. It's about retraining people, too. People who work in fossil fuels, they might need to learn new skills so they can work in renewables.
Making sure everyone has the opportunity to adapt.
Exactly. Now, what about businesses? They need to adapt, too. Invest in new technologies. Oil and gas companies, they need to diversify, invest in renewables. Utility companies need to invest in those smart grid technologies, the ones that can, manage the intermittent nature of renewable energy.
Challenges and opportunities.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about transportation, another industry going through a big transformation.
Right. What's happening in transportation? What are the big changes there?
Transportation is facing similar challenges: climate change, urbanization, technological disruption, all that. So they're adapting too. Shifting towards electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, shared mobility services.
A lot of changes happening at once.
There are. So what does this mean for workers? This shift to, a more sustainable, automated transportation system, it's going to mean job losses and job opportunities. Less demand for those traditional gas-powered cars, so job losses in auto manufacturing. But the electric vehicle industry, the autonomous vehicle industry, the shared...
Exactly. And it's important to note that the transition to a more sustainable and automated transportation system is not just about creating new jobs, it's also about upskilling and reskilling existing workers. For example, truck drivers may need to be retrained to operate autonomous trucks, and auto mechanics may need to be trained to repair electric vehicles.
So it's about providing workers with the skills they need to adapt to the changing demands of the transportation sector. It's about making sure they have the training and resources to stay relevant in this new landscape. Precisely. Now, what about the implications for businesses in the transportation sector? Well, businesses will need to adapt to the changing market conditions and invest in new technologies. For example, automakers will need to shift their production towards electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles, and transportation companies will need to develop new business models that incorporate shared mobility services.
So it's a time of both challenge and opportunity for businesses in the transportation sector.
Exactly. It's a time for innovation and adaptation.
I agree. It's clear from our deep dive into the Future of Jobs Report 2025 that the world of work is in a state of constant evolution. Technology, globalization, and demographic shifts are all contributing to this transformation, creating both challenges and opportunities for workers, businesses, and policymakers alike.
That's right. And while we can't predict the future with certainty, this report gives us a valuable framework for understanding the trends shaping the future of work and preparing for what's to come. It underscores the importance of adaptability, resilience, and continuous learning in navigating this ever-changing landscape.
It's a call to action for all of us to embrace lifelong learning, cultivate essential skills, and work together to shape a future of work that is inclusive, equitable, and sustainable.
So as you consider your own career path, your business strategies, or your policy decisions, ask yourself this: what steps can you take to harness the power of technology while ensuring that its benefits are shared widely and ethically? How can we create a future of work that is both prosperous and just for all?